Welcome to ThePapare.com, where we're on the segment of the DFCC Know and Grow, where we're introducing a legend to you of Sri Lanka rugby football, a gentleman who has contributed as much off the field as he has on the field, Mr. Chang or YC Chang, as he is also known, or YC to his friends. Hello YC, welcome to the show. Good to have you on board.
Thank you very much, Shanika.
It's been a wonderful career that you've had on the field, a wonderful career as an administrator off the field. Yeah. Looking back at all these years in rugby, I see, what is your most aspiring memory?
It was an ongoing thing, I think, from one step to another. Starting at my school, leaving at an early age, because I found the playing field not level, came down to Colombo. And then next thing I knew, I'm playing rugby for Havelocks Sports Club.
It's a very interesting story, actually, the fact that you made it to the national side without actually representing Trinity at first 15 level. Can you tell us a bit about that?
That was more determination in me to prove that the school had done wrong in me. So that made me keep going. My fitness levels were the highest at that point of time. I was never tired. And that was what got the selectors, picking me up every time. And from there onwards, and I displaced quite a lot of Sri Lankan players from the Havelocks side, and I was able to play in my first year itself. And then I was selected to play Barbarians. And in that era, it was all expats, and to get into a side like that, it was quite an achievement.
So you came down from Kandy, you came to Colombo and started playing for Havelocks. You played for Havelocks for many years. Then you actually played for Kandy for a few years as well, and then CHNFC as well. So is there a big cultural difference between these clubs, YC?
I wouldn't say that. As I said, it is a thing that evolved in me. Now, having being told by my parents to become a doctor, it never happened. Then you go on and you play Havelocks rugby, then you are headhunted by a European and he says, right, are you interested in planting? I said, no sir, not yet. Well, if you're interested, just let me know. And next thing I knew, I played 3 years for Havelocks, of which were 2 cup years. We won the cup for the Havelocks. And then I go off planting, and there I was doing very well. And I played a year for Kandy, and then I was made captain again. And as I said, it was I never planned my future as such in terms of my employment. I was always handpicked for things, and my work was so good at the estate. Again, I was handpicked to come to Colombo and do, tasting and blending.
So actually, talking about tea, you were also one of the few people who captained upcountry and low country.
That's right. Yes.
That must have been a big experience for you at that time?
Oh yes, I think basically I don't think anybody else has done that. Yeah, it was severe perseverance, you see. And I had the, shall I say, the physical ability to do that. When you have been told on one occasion by the coach, Changi boy, I don't think you can play Sri Lanka if you don't come for practices every day. He said, so I go back to the estate and I was walking along and I said, my boss was very keen on my rugby, and he said, what's happening? I said, sir, I don't think I'm going on this tour or anything like that. Why? I have to be for practices every day. So he walks with me for half an hour. He says, I really don't think that's a big problem for you. I said, why do you say that? You are starting early in the morning at 6, you finish off by 12. So you catch the Gamble train down to Colombo, you'll be there at 3:30, you go for practices at 4, you finish off, have your bath, catch the night mail back to Gamble.
And did you actually do that?
I did that for 2 months.
Wow. Okay.
And they couldn't drop me.
So you traveled every day from Kandy to Colombo?
And mark you, it's all on my salary that I came down, We didn't have the professionalism that is happening now.
Well, that's a know and grow lesson for you, certainly, in terms of perseverance. So you actually did make the Sri Lanka squad. That would have been a very proud moment for you.
Oh, yeah. That is one thing I always give myself credit to. I don't stop, I keep on going,
And did some eyebrows raise from your Trinity College mates when you actually made it with them?
I think they must have, they didn't speak about it.
And you were handpicked, as you said, for a lot of leadership roles as well,
Yeah.
YC. Not only on the field, you captain Havelocks, you captain Candy, you captain CH, but off the field as well in the SLRFU, you were the president. And did these leadership roles come naturally to you?
Yes, I never had to fight for it. It's just by, the systematic hard work and perseverance that I got those things.
And you were part of the committee that spearheaded the development of rugby around Sri Lanka
Yes,
under the presidency of...
that was one of my, shall I say, a foresight I had for this game. And we started small in the 90s, and we found the financials were very, very difficult, and mostly the sponsors would have to be, people with means to come and help us. But at the end, I think eventually IRB came in, and that was the time young Priyantha Ekanayaka became the president. And we had a fair amount of money from them, where we started on a very, quite a major scale. Every province was taken in, and we had 2,500 schools in each province. And our input was only to get the development officers and the coaches to go to the schools and start the game going. And during Priyantha's time, I think we got all the provinces involved. We got the Minister of Education, the provincial education ministers to agree that it is a national sport, and it was worked on every district. Schools were playing each other. It was walking distance for them, and then they played an apex up to being the leaders, where they would have played interprovincial. But unfortunately, after Priyantha went off, subsequent presidents couldn't maintain that. They had some other ideas in them, but had it been at that time when the minds changed, we had done 400 schools down south, that in the Gaul district, or Gaul. Then Sabaragama had another 400. North Central Province had another 400. Central Province had, I think, something like 200. Now, mark where that's going up to 2,000 odd schools, but we had done that little bit. And had they gone right through with it, I think today Sri Lanka players would not find Royalists, Trinitians, or any one of them.
So you're obviously not as happy now as you were back 20 years ago when you started it. You think it should have developed a lot further?
No, nowadays, I just inquired from some of the provinces, there is no input whatsoever. They're just forgotten about development. It's unfortunate.
When you played against a lot, with and against a lot of expatriates who were working in the plantations and so forth. How do you find that the game has changed since they've gone away?
As I have always maintained, rugby is evolutionary. What we played during our time and what is being played now is a completely different concept. As usual, the more stronger, big bone people like New Zealand, Australia, the northern sector, they evolved this for their own benefits. Now, in the 60s, our game was all a beautiful run and pass, and it was really nice. It's a symphony of moves. Now people like Carmen Ramukmela can dazzle you with his side steps and all that. I mean, you don't see that today. And then it slowly changed. In the 80s, we found the New Zealander, some Shelford or some guy, huge fellow, about 300 pounds, he takes the ball, thumps him in front, and then after that it's dead, and then, it kept on going. It became really boring. In one of my articles as a journalist, I wrote this, and I foresaw that this game is going to, not going to draw crowds, which now in fact is happening. In Sri Lanka, if you see the grandstands, hardly any players come to see club games. That is mainly because of this system of rugby that is.
The physicality has taken away the entertainment
So what I feel for us is to do a localized thing where we enjoy our game and get the spectators to come, help the clubs to revive financially, play a run and pass game. I mean, we are entitled to do that. In 1983-84, when I decided to make rugby professional, Mark, we are the first country to do that. So, no other country had done it. IRB didn't do it. We had started, and I had a big correspondence with the RFU then, Rugby Football Union, that I can't do it. I said, why not? I said, I want to improve the game. No, you can't. I said, then you come and do our administration. And he said, no, as long as you keep it within your peripheral areas of Sri Lanka, we will allow you. That's how we started.
Well, those days the grandstands were overflowing when Havelocks and CR and CH played each other, and even Candy. And now, of course, you see the club game is dwindling, the crowds are completely dwindling. What happened, YC, and how do we fix it?
Well, I told you, we are aping greater countries who play rugby like New Zealand, Australia. They still haven't changed except for France. They started in the recent years to start moving the ball. And it did have a change, but still with this great mass of weight behind them, they can kill you by going from one place, 10 yards more, they drop again, another 10 yards more, they drop again. And it is so boring to watch it. Actually, I don't watch these games now. That is what happened. How are we going to change it? How are we going to reach international standards? I don't think we are going to. I always profess that it won't happen. Every yard we take, the other guys have gone at least 10 yards ahead, you see. Physically, we can't. It's impossible, you see. So we have to evolve again that Sri Lankans like. And then go and send these boys on a nice tour, let them enjoy themselves and come back. That was all what I had in mind those days. Send the team. I used to take the teams out just for the fun of it, see the countries and come back,
And you coached as well, you coached Isipatana, and you would have brought that philosophy into your coaching as well.
Coaching, I did, professional was in coaching the CHNFC. I really enjoyed it because the players there were very well focused on their fitness and things like that. I had a fantastic team, people like Chang Pereira, in the back row I had Samanjaya Singh. What a lot of fanatics, fitness fanatics they were. They come in at 3 o'clock. I didn't have to push them. And I didn't have to tell them much either. We had
that professionalism has gone a little bit, even though it wasn't professional back then.
Now you don't get it. It's very difficult to get the guys to come for practice even at 6 o'clock now, even after paying them.
And what do you think that's down to? Too many distractions for the players, or too much going on?
I really don't know. I don't want to point the finger at the young players. They are getting a lot of money out of this game. But I do not know why they can't. Physically, they cannot match the international people. Maybe the sevens, they are doing a little bit better because you are really running the ball around. You don't get physical in the sevens. But in the 50s, there is no way. We think and enjoy the game here, get the public to come and support you, you see.
And what can you say about rugby in general impacting your life, YC? You said you got your first job through it, and you've enjoyed traveling the country.
Actually, it is a discipline. I found it, I achieved most of my, most of what I wanted to do in life because of my rugby, the discipline I had. Otherwise, I would have not achieved what I had to do my own business, and from there, go on. So in my 75th year, I'm quite content.
That's 3/4 of a century. What are your words of advice imparting to the younger players who are looking to know and grow from this?
Enjoy yourself, enjoy the game, and work hard in whatever sphere you're doing, and you'll get there.
Well, you're learning and knowing and growing on the DFCC from one of the legends of the Sri Lankan game, Mr. YC Chang. Thank you very much for joining us, sir.
Thanks, Jonathan.